We all know that a walk in the woods does wonders for improving your mood, reducing stress. It's even been proven to reduce blood pressure. And with all the recent goings on in the world, spaces like this have been an essential lifeline to all of us here living in Norfolk. Having the ability to access wonderful outdoor, unspoilt spaces without ever having to go too far from your own front door is such a valuable part of living in Norfolk, and recent times have reminded us exactly why the life here is so precious. But what if you didn't even need to leave your home to access all of this? What if that home was sprinkled with meadows and paddocks and formal gardens too? What if the property in question is steeped in history every bit as eclectic as its surroundings? Now, it's long been said that it's not about how big the house is, but it's more about how happy the home is. But we're here to ask, why not have both? Welcome to the astounding Witherton House. It dates back to the 16th century, and that gorgeous arts and crafts gable you see there, that was added in the early 1900s. But there is so much more on offer here than simply just one exceptional property. There is a huge 18th century barn which just adds so much potential. We'll look at that in more detail later. And of course, the grounds are totally enchanting, and all of this comes together to offer just the most magical lifestyle. I think one of my favourite things in exploring the grounds here at Wiveton House is just the way that the whole plot is kind of graduated toward the house. You can tell that it's just anchored here where it lives. We've gone from wild woodlands to paths that just meander between wildflower meadows. And then as you delve further into the grounds here, you start to find these wonderfully well-kept paddocks, of which there's a handful. Now, what I love so much about these is just the versatility they offer. The only limit on the way you can use a space like this is your own imagination. I've been told that they were once home to a very happy resident Jersey cow, amongst other livestock. The equestrian possibilities, of course, speak for themselves. Perhaps if you're living near the coast, you're delving into a marine lifestyle and you need somewhere to store your boats. Or simply with a home like this, you are bound to have plenty of guests, and just imagine sticking marquee in one of these and the memories that would follow. There's even room for your very own tennis court. Now, I for one was never going to make the A team. Might make the B team though. And then once you find yourself in the immediate curtilage of the house, you're left in no doubt with these wonderful walled formal gardens. What a space, they're just thriving. I think actually whilst been exploring these formal gardens, I've found one of my favourite spots so far. Tuck yourself up in this corner here, and it's got this wonderful elevated view over the pool, but also you just catch that Dutch gable there. You've got the most wonderful English garden views with the property just beginning to talk to you. You can imagine yourself sat here with a good book, frankly finding it hard to worry about anything. But of course, glorious grounds need a happy home to go with it, and the fact that we find ourselves here in the rose garden means the time has come to take a look inside. It's probably going to come as no surprise to you that the accommodation itself is every bit as sprawling and as varied as the grounds in which they sit. And whilst we'll never be able to take you through room by room and explain the layout, what we can do is give you a flavour of the character and versatility of this home. I think one of my favourite spots, certainly on the ground floor, is this central sitting room. Now, the whole property is split into two very distinctive wings, especially as we get higher up. This serves as just the perfect threshold between the two, feels like a real central hub of the home, and of course very elegant, and that box window offers splendid views of the front garden. Now, just as you begin to adapt to the amount of rooms and the space on offer here at Wiveton House, you come into this gable end. Remember, it was added in 1909, and what happens is it just expands. You end up with this wonderful contrast with one end of the house with numerous rooms with their own definition, but then come this way and you get these large open rooms filled with light and space. One of the central rooms to the first floor is this wonderful music room, and that's testament to just how much space is up here. You can dedicate a room like this to a hobby room and still have 6 further bedrooms on here, each of which enjoying very much their own character. And that, to me, is just one of the many things that cements this place as a bona fide family home. I love the long landing that you see, somewhat reminiscent of an old farmhouse. Now, remember I mentioned that the property split into 2 wings, particularly up here on the second floor now, where the west wing where we're stood now is dedicated to this fabulous bedroom up into the eaves of the house that's got brilliant character. But the main reason I wanted to bring you up here was this window seat. Just has the most glorious views of the walled gardens, the paddocks, the pool, and even if you look through the trees, you can just catch a glimpse of the coast too. And if you're familiar with where Wiveton sits geographically, it will come as no surprise that the properties to the east wing enjoy the most superb views over across the water meadows to the townscape of Cley. Where you can see across the water meadows, you'll just catch the famous Dutch gable of the George, the Cley windmill too, and you can see all the way out to sea. But you'll remember at the top of the video that it's not just about the property, there's also a superb barn no less than nearly 2,500 square feet of it. Now, not only is the barn steeped in history, but the sheer volume of this place is so hard to get across without coming to see it in the flesh. And of course, with space and character comes a wonderful potential. You can only begin to imagine the result if you sympathetically develop this barn. But even if you didn't have the aspirations to do that, you cannot understate how valuable space like this is into accompanying an eclectic country and coastal lifestyle. Well, I hope this has gone some way to providing an insight into just how special Wiveton House and barn is. If you want to ask any more questions about the property, or indeed if you want to arrange your very own viewing, then we would love to hear from you. The number for the Sowerbys Holt office is on your screen now.